I remember a time of chaos, of ruined schemes and wasted plans. But most of all, I remember the role player, and the ones we called the min-maxers. To understand why they fought, we have to go back to the other time, when the world was divided into two tribes. The tribe that valued damage per round, and the tribe that only sought meaningful roleplay. Both are one now, united, brought together by a man that showed them the common ground. That you can have the character you want, both narratively and mechanically. I'm Mid-Max. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to attempt to address the age-old conflict of what's more important, roleplay or combat, min-maxing or just doing whatever feels good. Now in my opinion, it's both, and neither. You see, each player is bringing a lot to the table, excitement and chaos and expectations, and therein lies the rub. How do you keep everyone happy? You see, new school RPG players, often influenced by their love of streaming campaigns like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and D4, they love the story, and they love to impact it with their character choices. They usually come to session 1 with elaborate backstories, personality traits, character art, and expectations of complex social interactions. Generally, this type of player focuses more on the who than the how, and that's fine. And then there are the optimizers, the min-maxers. Min-maxing refers to the focus on minimizing weaknesses and maximizing strengths. Optimizers love rolling dice and smashing monsters. They've done their homework, they know the game mechanics, they've probably been at this for ages. They're the old guard. They know that a 1 or 2 level dip in Paladin, Bard, Warlock, and Sorcerer can result in an Eldritch Blasting, Twin Spelling Inspiration Slinger in heavy armor by level 6. They know the class, ancestry, feat combos that'll net you the highest numbers round after round, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with playing this way. But if you are in a campaign with a troupe of role players that care a lot more about narrative than how hard you can Nova on a crit, it might be challenging to explain why your devoted paladin of Ao is now making a pact with Asmodeus while playing a lute. It can be really taxing on the DM to provide engaging content for both of these types of players. So, I'm going to show you my approach. I call it mid-maxing, that's MID maxing, in which I split focus on both aspects of character creation. These are the steps I follow to create rich, engaging, and combat-effective characters. Now, it should go without saying these are just my dumb opinions, and I 100% support you in making characters however the hell you want to. I'll go ahead and say it right now, there is no proper way to build a character. Just do whatever and have fun, but this is what I do. Alright, so step 1, ask the DM, straight up, just ask the DM what kind of campaign they're looking to run. Set those expectations right away. Is this going to be a dungeon crawl? Are we solving puzzle after puzzle? Are we negotiating the borders of an expanding kingdom? If your DM is in meat grinder mode and just wants to drown your asses in waves and waves of the undead, you may want to go ahead and skip that 15-page backstory there, kiddo. Conversely, your DM may not enjoy running combat at all, and you may wish to omit Polearm-Master or Warcaster from your list of favorite feats in favor of something like Chef or Actor or a straight-up intelligence boost. For me, the ideal scenario is kind of a lot of both. Alright, step 2, let's start with a character concept. Alright, now that we understand the overall tone of the campaign, let's sit down and think about what kind of person this is. Do we want to make a dwarf, or a furbolg, or a half-orc? Let's face it, it's me, we're going to make a half-orc. Yeah. I write up their story, and their aesthetic, and their personality, and their preferences, etc. I do this before I even look at classes, because in real life, people don't have classes. We have history, and preferences, and talents that we apply to day-to-day challenges. So, I know I want to be a half-orc, and I want her to be a sneaky, sad girl, badass bounty hunter with trust issues and questionable people skills. I think she wants to sneak in and kind of mix it up in the front lines. Now, are Half-Orcs the best origin for this? No, probably not. But by level 4, it probably won't matter that much, especially if we make some savvy choices right here when selecting our class. So we write up our obligatory tragic backstory TM. And by the way, if you struggle with this step, there are lots of great tools out there to help, like better backstories, just plugging a friend there. Alright, so I know my character, I know her tragic origin story. Let's go on to step 3. Step 3 is mechanics. I begin to look at classes that will complement the elaborate melodrama that I've created for my character. So she's a sneaky melee character, right? Well, the go-to is rogue, sure, and that works. But let's look a little deeper. There are like 50 subclasses to choose from with wildly different nuances and applications and abilities. My half-orc gets a +2 to strength right out the gate, right? So let's say I stack some strength with my dex, and then I sneak up and cleave bad guys right in half with a couple of axes. At that point, maybe I don't really want to be a rogue, maybe a fighter or a ranger or a blood hunter. The truth is, most of the mechanics in 5e aren't expressly tied to any particular class. Let's say we go with fighter, and our DM says we're using standard array. So we drop our 15 in strength, our 14 in dex, our 13 in stamina, and we'll give her a 10 in intellect and a 12 in wisdom because she's kind of cagey and street smart. We'll dump our 8 into charisma. Right now we're looking at a +3 modifier for our strength, a +2 for our dex and stamina. For a fighting style, let's take dual wielding and grab a couple of hand axes. Boom! We're already kind of sneaky and choppy. But now let's take a look at our background. Step 4 is background, and this is where I kind of tie it all together. Maybe she was an orphan, and she grew up on the mean streets, so we take the urchin background. Or she's been a bounty hunter for a really long time, so we take the urban bounty hunter background. Either one will give us the necessary proficiencies we need to be effectively sneaky and lockpicky and stealthy and murdery. We're playing into our literal strengths as a half-orc without compromising what we're bringing to the team as like a scout or a rogue or, a lockpicking character. The D&D 5e system is so flexible, especially with the advent of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. With just a tiny bit of research into your character's background, you can build a character to fight and act exactly how you want them to fit almost any narrative. So why don't I start with class mechanics? Well, an issue that optimization can often lead to is repetitive characters. We all know the combos that work, right? You got your variant human, polearm master, great weapon master that drops like 42 points of damage per round, every round without critting at level 4. That's a badass combo, right? But word is out already. The thing is, that character might struggle to feel useful when the party finds itself embroiled in political subterfuge, and it's up to the party to discover who's causing dissent in the kingdom. The thing is, whether you're rolling to attack, or perceive a clue, or to lie to a guard, or to entertain a group of orphans, we're all just rolling. And there's no way to win at D&D, other than to have fun. If you're playing with a party of new school RPers and you only know your character as a set of combat mechanics, you might start to feel kind of left out. And yes, there are builds out there that are fantastic skill monkeys that do loads of damage and cast powerful spells in heavy armor, but then what kind of character is that, Weaknesses are fun. Almost everyone prefers plain old human Batman who relies on his grit and intellect to the godlike Superman that was born with every ability that anyone could ever want. My advice is, ask yourself why with every choice you make about your character build. It doesn't even have to be a lot. Just a few sentences of backstory here and there will really help your character function better on and off the battlefield. So that's how I go about mid-maxing characters in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Look, it's nothing revolutionary, I get it, but it covers the bases, I think. So what did I miss? What did you love? What did you freaking hate? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope I get to show you one of my characters one of these days. Until then, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. As always, I'm begging you, please mask up, go out and support your local game shops. We need them, and now more than ever, they really, really need us. Have a good one, my friends.